morning once again, and thank you for staying with us. This is the AM show. We're about to review the news, but quickly, I'll run you through most of the headlines in front of the papers. Just quickly, we'll start with the Daily Graphic, and of course, big one will deepen press freedom. The president spoke at the just-ended GJA Awards, where Asidiba tops it all. 2025 GJA Awards would go to the other paper. Okay, behind it, the Daily Graphic Sports Kotoko Edge Hearts intense super clash. That game, I was supposed to be there. It was quite an intense one. Let's go to the custodian this morning. Minority hangs dark clouds on Bafo Bonny's vetting. You know that despite the pushback by minority in Parliament, it looks as though a little later today, the Appointment Committee of Parliament shall definitely sit to consider the nomination and, if possible, approve of him as Ghana's Chief Justice. Story is in the custodian this morning if you're interested. And private sector government must partner in nation building. KGL Alex Dade speaking as well in front of the custodian. JB declares bid for NPP chairmanship, and this changes the whole story as quite an experienced one. Mr. John Boydu, former NPP General Secretary who held that role for years, has declared to want to be chairman of the race. We'll see how all of that will pan out in the subsequent weeks. But Africa needs ethical homegrown AI strategies. Chief of Staff as well has been speaking. And waste managers suspend strike after government assurance. You recall that the association that bridges the gap between government and the local government by helping sanitation in this country were threatening some strike, but it looks like the government is giving some assurances, and so they've suspended it. We shall definitely be following that. Graphic business, MTN honors entrepreneurs at SMEGA 2024. Story is on page 8 and 9 of the business, the graphic business. And IMF warns against corrupt contracts. If you're interested in that story, you've got to grab a copy of the graphic business this morning and take a read. And behind it as well, Rwanda DR Congo turns football into diplomatic battlefield. Interested? Grab a copy. Daily Guide this morning. SML petitions Mahama over GRA contracts. You recall that they had a press conference on Friday, and this is some of the things that they have been saying, quite a detailed one, because the OSP said that it was looking to recover 125 million Ghana cedis from SML. Manasseh Zuri, who's been championing this cause as well, thinks that if the OSP looked a little deeper, really, it may be considering to recover more than 125 million Ghana cedis. Quite a detailed read is in the Daily Guide this morning as well. And Parliament grills CJ nominee. If that gets to happen today, we've seen the communique circulating that it may be around 11 a.m. today. They shall be sitting. What does that mean for the minority? We shall be looking to see. And yes, the publisher, search for a new CJ, question to answer. Parliament vs Justice Bafo Bonny, despite minorities' objection, and Jobwedi runs for NPP national chairman. And police investigate coach over alleged sodomy, 16-year-old victim dead. I don't know if you have seen the story, because the Ghana police has been giving an update following the death of a 16-year-old young footballer and the story between him and his coach. After he had died, there's some videos that are circulating, despite the case already being investigated. That video that had popped up on social media gives a new twist to the case, and the police has been given an update. But if you want a detailed update, if you grab the publisher, you would get the story. And Mahama School's journalist on news reportage. News Center, a local marine insurance to boost CD, creates jobs. IBEG has been speaking, and OSP got it wrong. The MSML has been speaking as well. Ghana extend aid to Jamaica, Cuba, and Sudan. Story is on page 4. And the News Center and everybody as well is celebrating Godwin Asidiba, named as 2025 GJ Journalist of the Year. Story is on page 3, and this is the Economy Times as well. The publisher this morning, SML defense contract legitimacy. Story is on page 2, and their lawyer, Sefas Boyo, was speaking at that presser. Details of that presser is on page 2 of the Ghanaian publisher. And we already told you about how John Boydu, the former General Secretary of the NPP, has also entered the chairmanship race. And so I'll quickly go to other newspapers if that is all. I bet that is all for the newspapers this morning. I shall attempt to bring you myjoyonline.com to see what's happening there What's the news review without myjoyonline.com? Let's see. Okay, try it again. Definitely. On myjoyonline.com, our top story this morning, government raises public sector salary minimum wage by 9% for 2026. And then it takes effect January 2026, January 1, I think, 2026. We'll definitely talk about this. It's one big issue we shall be reviewing on our desk this morning. And administrative neglect cripples Ghana, UK scholars with 36 students stuck without renewal letters. That's also on myjoyonline.com. You would just want to go on that week, and then you on the page, there's so much happening. The government spokesperson as well on his social media has been telling you how you should be getting ready for the week. It's quite a busy week. Says that this week could shape Ghana's future. The helicopter tragedy report shall be presented to the Security Council. And as well, the Nkokon Kitting as well will be launched by the president, and the 2026 budget, what to look out for on Thursday. Let me quickly wrap up with City News this morning. Yeah, the big one. We are looking forward to that. Acting Chief Justice Bafo Boniface's appointment committee today. Get ready for that. That's all your headline for the review, but to join us on the desk, let's discuss it. Okay. Well, thank you so much for staying with us. Let's start our review. I just hope that you joining us this morning, you definitely had a good week, but this morning joining us is Kofi Kapito. He is Executive Director, Consumer Protection, Victoria Bright, lawyer and entrepreneur. When we're lucky, we shall be joined by Tanko Rashid Computer. He is CEO GIFEC, and Gloria Bwedu. She's lawyer and women's rights activist. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm interested in how your weekend was. Mr. Kapito, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was quite, unfortunately, a few people passed. So a very good friend of mine called T with the East Legon executives suddenly passed. And, you know, our age, especially Ghanaian men, who are of the view that maybe going to the hospital is not, or going to check their health is not something that they should pay attention to. We go, if we are even advised, we tend not to follow the advice. And I think time has come that we should take the doctor's advice or the health provider's advice a little serious. So that was how my weekend was. But apart from that, it was quiet.
I'm so sorry to hear about that loss. And I'm certain that people watching you today, at least for the first time, will take their health quite serious. If you go to the hospital and they give you a review date, please just go. It's really for your health. But Victoria, how have you been? How's your weekend?
I'm very well, thank you. And my condolences.
Well, so.
Yes, it was fine. I had a quiet one. Just went to church and then came home and have family visiting at the moment. Yeah.
Well, so a lot has been happening. It's quite an eventful week. We expect that today, later, the nominated Chief Justice will be vetted. If the minority gets to be part of it, we'll wait to see. There's been some pushback. And one of the things they are quite concerned is that why not just allow the removed Chief Justice, at least, finish all her redress seeking in court, and then you can proceed with the vetting. We'll talk about that. But most importantly, minimum wage increased by 9%. I'm quite curious to hear from you specifically, and if you look at the trends over the years, if this 9% is enough, or is it just political rhetoric? So really when they increase it, we get to see that people really feel it. That's okay, 9%. So now I can buy two balls of kinky if I used to buy one. I can't wait to hear from Kofi Kapito on that. Which one of them has your attention?
Both, because
okay.
I have a vested interest in the Bafo Boniston. He's my brother.
Oh, I see.
Yes, you know, so that is a personal thing. But on the wages, you know, 9%, I would say, is in the right order, but just like Oliver Twist, can I please have some more? The problem of Ghana is not about increasing wages by 9%, 10%, or 15%. It's about actually finding how to pay Ghanaian workers what is known as living wage. There's a minimum wage, and then there's a living wage. The living wage allows you to meet almost all your bills till you wait for your next paycheck the next month. In advanced countries, that is what people do. When you are paid, you can pay all your bills. And then you might not even have something to save, but at least you know you have another paycheck coming in 30 days or in 2 weeks that you can pay your bills. In this part of the world, they pay you, and the next day you go to tell somebody that, can you borrow me some money? You know, I owe you. There's always, you know, and I think government should look at the actual cost of living, okay, and pay people their living wages.
Can the government really afford that?
Oh, well, some people have done it, so why not us? Yesterday I was watching this documentary by something Vadamaya. What's his name?
Wademaya.
Wademaya.
Yes.
And he was in Botswana.
Okay.
And I was surprised. Botswana, as we think Botswana is no place. Botswana only has diamonds. Now look and see what they've done with diamonds. We have everything. We are the most blessed nation on earth. But we are the most messed nation on earth. Because if somebody only has diamonds, you have gold, you have cocoa, now you even have oil. And we have the human resource.
Yeah.
And we can't do anything about Ghana. You ask yourself, what is really, really, really wrong with us? So if other people can do it, even within Africa, why not us? Because why? You know, if you have lived a little bit, seeing Ghana after independence coming into what we've come through to today, you ask yourself, where did we go wrong? Because when I was growing up, when I saw Ghana, Ghana somehow was heading towards the right direction.
We've retrogressed?
Big time. Big time. In all aspects. Instead of building Ghana, we are building individuals. And that is the problem for us today. Somebody gets an opportunity even to add on something to Ghana. He doesn't even care about Ama Ghana anymore. Now, I don't think there's Ama in the Ghana as we all used to call her. Because it's become me, 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 me. And we need to look at it and say enough is enough. Let's see what we did in the past, what made us better, and what has actually gone wrong that we are in the mess that we are. Constructing just a small road, how long does it take us? How much money do we put in it? And then even when we finish, when the rains come the following year, we have wahala. Roads are not supposed to be to deteriorate within a year. That's not how we build roads. But in Ghana, every road that we build, maybe the motorway was able to survive for some time, yes, but even the motorway is dying.
Now I see some constructions going on there.
Well, let's see what will happen. Let's see what, if when we had motorway, even United Kingdom didn't have a motorway. I was in England when they started the M25. Yeah, we had the motorway way back. What have we added on to the motorway? We had motorway before UK had M25. What have we added on to it? Nothing. But if they tell you the amount of money that we spent under the pretense of constructing a road, you'll be surprised. Pakwesi Indum used to say that since independence, Bole to Fufolo Sola or whatever, every budget, that road is in there.
Really?
Yeah.
it's a good thing you have pointed out. Maybe we'll look into that one. I'm quite curious about it.
You know, so
every year it's in the budget.
He says every year it's in
I'll
the
look
budget.
out for it on Thursday. Maybe it would.
Well, let's see. I'm quoting Pakwesi Indum.
Okay. Okay.
So we need to think about Ghana. Okay, and stop doing what we are doing to Ghana.
You talk about cost of living. I'll come back to you for follow-up questions. But Vicky, if you look at the trends, I'm just looking at it here. 2021, a little over 12%. 2022, 13.53%. 2024, 18.15%. And then currently 19.97%. We're going to be increasing it by 9%. How significant, if you look at the trend, how significant is this year's increment?
Well, what I'll say is that it's a welcome relief. You know, it doesn't solve the problem, but it's a good step towards solving the problem. Because the fact of the matter is, mentioning the figures you are mentioning, and we all know what inflation has done over the years, it's eaten into real wages, not just for public sector workers, but for everyone, you know. So I would say that this move definitely provides some cushion. Government is providing some cushion. But the real crux of the matter is productivity growth. Because without productivity growth, we're just expanding a wage bill that's already, you know, it already consumes a good portion of our tax revenue. So we need to balance all these things against efficiency, productivity growth, and performance. You know, not just be increasing salaries for the sake of increasing salaries. We also have to demand a lot from our public sector workers, because we've all been to some of these places, and I wouldn't call them super efficient. Yes, there are individuals within each of these institutions who are very good and very committed to their work. But on the whole, well, we've all seen what our SOEs and other people are doing in the public sector. So I think productivity growth and measurable, some kind of impact and measurable efficiency would also go a long way. If they did that, then Ghanaians would be on the streets ourselves campaigning for them. So it's a balance. But I'm happy that government has taken some steps. You know, 9% is good, but inflation, as I said, it provides a cushion. It gives some kind of, it's some relief, and it's a welcome relief.
Well, I mean, Ms. Capito, one of the things you mentioned was cost of living. They're not paying the Ghanaian worker so that they're able to live very much. What they take, they use to offset their bills and all of that. You go back to just waiting for another month for your salary. But usually when government increases the minimum wage, but whatever percentage, do you see it very implemented in the private sector?
Well, the private sector is the private sector. This is government workers. So the private sector probably even pays their workers a little better than the government workers. So that is a separate thing. I know some people are making some good monies in the private sector. I don't think you can get, maybe apart from the governor of Bank of Ghana and the CEO of Cocoa Board, I don't think you can compare most CEOs to the private people. Yeah. So it's a different thing. But the cost of living thing that I'm talking about, look, cost of living, it's a whole line of stuff. Rent, transportation, health, school fees, even feeding. Yeah. Okay, so even today, we were all happy when the dollar came down to, I think now it's about 11 or 12 cedis, right?
11 point something. Yeah.
But the question is, a slice of plantain, roasted plantain is still 7 cedis.
It is. It's quite apt. You're not wrong at all.
No, I'm just saying, coconut is 7 cedis.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the question is, if the excuse was because the dollar was going up, And that's why even the coconut seller is justifying that you should pay 7 cedis for his coconut. So how come the dollar is coming down and it's not reducing? In Ghana, 90% of the time, everything that goes up never comes down. So what do? Are we doing voodoo economics in Ghana? In other jurisdictions, even 0.0%, you can feel the effect all the way down. Here, 9%, I can guarantee you that by December, okay, you hear the workers complaining because everything wouldn't have been reduced. The same thing, rent, now they are taking more than even the 1 year. People used to be merciful and say, okay, don't worry, give me 1 year. Now they want 2 years. So how does, you see, there was a guy called Kwekuba, I think that was his name, back in Liman's time. And he did something wonderful. He went to parliament. He was a parliamentarian from Kwau. He bought breakfast, he bought lunch, he bought dinner. The average meal. Then he took it to parliament and said that time they were paying Ghanaians 3 cedis a day. So he said the cost of the breakfast was 1 cedi. The cost of the lunch was 1 cedi. The cost of dinner was 1 cedi. So the Ghanaian worker, the pay for the day, he alone uses it on his meal. So what about his children, wife, and other bills? Then you coin the word Ghanaians are magicians.
I see. Yeah. I see. That was quite practical.
And he did it. You see, I tell people that, yes, I don't want to get into the macro, maybe Vicky might do that, and the micro and all those things. I'm talking about practical Ghanaian living way, where he that wears the shoes feels the pinch. Not somebody sitting up working with figures and numbers. Because at the end of the day, if your figures and numbers does not translate into my pocket, I don't care. And that's what is happening in Ghana.
So basically, Vicky, we can, of course, be happy about the 9% increment. But if government still doesn't do what it has to do, sellers, traders will still trade and sell at a high price.
But this is the problem that all Ghanaians face. And that's why I was talking about productivity growth.
Yeah.
You know, because if not, we will forever be going round in circles. It is a fact that most Ghanaians do not have enough to make ends meet. They don't, you know. So, and when this, when the currency rates, you know, when RCD appreciates, the dollar goes down, and all the rest of it, these guys still don't reduce anything. Yes, there's always a window, because the argument we heard when this trend started was that people had already bought stuff at a certain price, at a certain exchange rate, and therefore they needed a little window to offload those things, and then prices will come down. But here we are, still 7 cedis for plantain, you know, this whatever, cocoa thing, and then, you know, coconut, as Kofi said, is 7 cedis. So we need government to find a way to translate that into workers' pockets.
It's interesting because, Mr. Capito, so just recently we're just hearing about a grain glut. We've heard it so much that it feels as if there's so much food in the country, and yet people say that they don't have access to food. But
there isn't even a glut. I heard some of the discussions over the weekend.
Yeah.
It's not a glut. They are actually producing what we need. So, you know, a glut suggests that they are overproducing. But the fact of the matter is that listening to these farmers, they are not overproducing. They are producing what we need, except that it's not being bought, you see, because of the imports. So that's a completely different problem. You understand? Because if we are still doing $1 million of rice imports or whatever the figure is,
200,000. Oh no, for the supposed gluts would be 200,000
yes,
tons.
and yes, so it's not a mismatch.
Yeah.
You know, and successive governments have said, let's stop importing rice, let's stop importing this, let's stop importing that, let's make ourselves more self-sufficient, and that is the way to go. But then when people actually take the risk and try to achieve these things, this is where they end up.
Mr. Kapito, isn't it shocking? Because you have 9% increase in your minimum wage, at least, where we are. There's local rice, but you prefer an imported rice. How do we blame?
Sometimes you can't even find a local rice.
Yes, I always buy local rice.
But sometimes it's difficult to find a local rice.
Yes.
So
there's a shortage.
Yeah, if there's a shortage, and sometimes even if it's available, where to get it is even the problem.
Yes.
Whose fault then?
Well, because we've allowed, and I don't mean to be biased or attack the media houses. You guys are the ones who are promoting the who rice, ko-mini rice, ko-mini because of advertisement money. You get my point? So, and it is a business thing for you. I'm not against it. But what I'm saying is, we should also make a conscious effort to promote the Ghanaian side.
But just look at you, where you can't even find the rice. I cannot advertise what I can't see.
Yeah, but because we allow, you know, it's funny that, what was it, yesterday, I was listening to something and they were debating about, I forgot it. But the question I asked was, if this thing is so bad, no, it was to do with the mining, the people who sell the mining equipment at Anyan Kwanta in Ashanti. I think it was.
Yes,
it was multimedia. Yes, it was a multimedia thing.
Yes.
You know, and what they were doing was good. That is post-market surveillance. So I agree with them. But the question is, looking at the machines, looking at the size of the machines, you can't take that machine across the border of Togo. Those things came through the port.
Yes.
And government has collected duties and taxes on it. If government is serious, just like any other country, that when we see you with drugs, we seize it. Okay, why can't we seize those equipment at the port and allow them to come in before we go and do post-market? There are certain things that you need to do post-market. But the question is, if this thing is that serious, Anyan Kwanta, the people there, they've been there for years. We always pretend as if we are like ostriches or like the butcher. We will build our house tomorrow when it's raining. I have seen the people at Anyan Kwanta for the past God knows how many years. And all of a sudden, just to, I don't know, like I said, it was a good thing that they went there. Okay, but these are the same people, because the woman had some documents, and they are telling her that
they expired.
No, it hadn't expired, but apparently what it was meant for is not what they were doing.
She's trading
because
in.
They were building some of them were building the champagne for people to come and buy. It was supposed to be spare parts. For crying out loud, if you give me spare, now people are putting these guns, these homemade guns in America. They buy the kit and they do it themselves. So if you want to stop it, you stop making the kit. It's as simple as that.
So beyond the importation, which you think it could have been regulated at the ports and seized like the way they seize drugs and all other things that are not supposed to be coming in the country, we should as well even make sure that they are not able to manufacture it in the country as well.
No, but the question is it illegal to do it? Or the people who are selling the parts are not supposed to be doing it? You see
the
my point?
EPA has want to ban the use and even the importation of it completely.
So we should make a law that says, Ghana, you can't bring champagne or you can't assemble champagne. Yeah. Then we know that it is banned completely. But as long as it is not, quote unquote, illegal for me to have the right documents, then we are fighting a losing battle. And that's what we tend to do. And then Ghana, at the end of the day, some individual, that is what even makes my stomach, itch. Some individual takes advantage and makes money of the whole situation. And this is the trouble in Ghana. The trouble in Ghana. And then when you talk, look, institutions don't work in Ghana most of the time. They don't work because the person there feels like the 9% that is being given to them is not enough.
Not enough.
So they should find a way to make more. Why are we doing this to ourselves? To our own people. To our own people. My dear, the institutions that the municipal MCEs and DMC, is it DMC and MC?
Yeah.
Most of the flood that we are complaining about, do you know they are to be blamed most of the time? Because some of them actually give illegal permits and authorization for people to build on water. I have a case with Adenta municipality right now. So I had to go all the way to the local government minister to go and report to them. Because they said that they decided that some individual who did an illegal thing in connivance with them has spent money to build a culvert so he can build on the gutter.
That is ridiculous.
No, I'm just telling you. And it's been going on for since the first NDC at Amelsa's time. I went to see Honorable Konizada about it. It stopped, it went down. The guy went around reporting me, all kinds of people. But this current bunch of people at the assembly, they claim that they gave him authority because he has spent money in constructing a culvert.
Interesting.
And this is Ghana. Let the rains come. Let the area be flooded. Then you see how we will cry. We are a cursed nation. Some of us will come and tell you that, I predicted that there will be. Why? Why don't we do prevention?
So the EPA has just noted they have issued that fabrication of Shamfang machines is carried out without the necessary permits or authorization is a violation of the Environmental Protection Act. So it comes down to what you're saying. I mean, we're stretching the conversation a little further, which means that there's no absolute ban, except you must have permits. This is also for excavators as well, that if you don't have permits, you cannot import it. So, because they say that there's use for these machines, right? So we cannot outrightly ban them. Or what do you say?
No, I agree. I agree. That's what I'm saying. It's a problem. It's a problem because the Chinese woman was trying to tell and like I'm saying, some individual sitting somewhere in the same EPA or some authorized agency is the one who made it possible for them to do that. Because there's no way that a Chinese person can come. Look, I tell you, it's not a joke, but it's true. I was coming from a flight and I went with Emirates. There were a bunch of Chinese people on the flight. And there was only one who could speak English. I said, hey, China, come. You, where are you going? He says, me, I'm going to Kumasi, Galamsey. Really? Yes. On a flight from Dubai.
What did you do?
The man knows where he's going. What can I do?
Did you not tell him that Galamsey is illegal? It's actually illegal money.
But you see, I don't know. Vicky, can you somebody help me? I get confused when we make it look like Galamsey, which is gather and sell. Okay. As I knew as a young boy that it was something that was done in Obuasi and all the mining areas. And it didn't cost anything. It didn't, actually, the people who went into the pits were the ones who would die because it will collapse on them. They were not affecting any water or anything like that. Then all of a sudden, we have something small-scale mining. I think our trouble started when we started issuing license for small-scale mining. Because the small-scale miners, who are not as big as some of the recognized ones, they are the ones who are causing this. Because some of them even get the permit and they sell it to somebody.
Vicky, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, this issue with Galamsey, it's taken on so many different dimensions. Look, only last week we saw the military running away from Galamsey. So who is in charge, you know? So if we, and that, when you start seeing that kind of thing, then you have to start worrying about security, you know? So it's literally permeated every aspect of our society in a very negative way. Every aspect, whether it's our forests, whether it's human health. Look at these children, you know, even women, girls reaching puberty at 6. I mean, all sorts of issues. And yet, here we are, still battling the same old drums, beating the same old drums. Something has to change, because we cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. These guys are now defying our security forces.
Yeah.
I mean, the audacity is shocking. People have died because of this. So many people. And we then had in fact, look at even the August helicopter crash.
Yeah.
Some fine Ghanaians, yes. Some of our finest died. So, you know, you sit there as a Ghanaian and you ask yourself, when will this end? Because we are eating all sorts of things. You know, we have to eat. And those who say they don't care, they will buy the water, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you know, people can buy water, but you have to bath with the water. Whatever it is, somehow, some of it will touch you. Somehow.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just wondering when it will all stop. Because look, it has to stop. It has to stop. Because either it stops us or we stop it.
Yeah.
Yes, either the Galamsey stops us or we stop it.
The impunity of it, so apart from soldiers being chased away by some community members or illegal miners, you also saw how the EPA's trip to Arian Kwanta in the Ashanti region also ended. There was a near fatal accident, near fatal. That was ghastly, and they've been talking about how they were trying how to flee from these miners in the area. It looks to me as if we're going to go to your brother's conversation shortly, but it looks to me as though, and one question I've constantly asked on the show here is that, is it really the fact that government is unable to fight Galamsey completely, or we as a people, we just have the appetite to mine?
It's greed.
You know, I call the Galamsey thing Ghana's cocaine war. If you allow any illegal business that has a lot of money involved and the people get into it, it is difficult for you to stop it. And that is where we are heading towards. Look, you talk about, Vicky was talking about you have to bath or stop drinking and all that. It's not even that. Now, fruits that are not even grown on the, you know, in the ground.
Yes.
Pawpaw is contaminated. Mango is contaminated. Okay, everything grown on tree, very soon it will attack our cocoa, which is our resource. And we are sitting down. My problem with you see, I think we need to get a little bit strict or do some sacrifice. Because you see, we cannot allow the civilians to attack our military people. And then when you say, oh, maybe let's declare a state of emergency, some people, look, believe me, and this is my opinion and my only. Believe me, if we had given the military people shoot to kill order and kill about 50 or 100 of these people, this thing will reduce drastically.
Isn't that how armed robbery was stopped in its tracks?
You get what? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember during.
You know what I'm saying? They should give the military and the police people, anybody that gets out of order, shoot him and shoot to kill. Don't let him alive, because dead men don't talk. No, it's as simple. And you see, we need to get to a certain level that the state should take charge. We can't allow.
The state says that they are in charge.
In charge, and they are being chased out?
Are these not SSs of the fight?
SSs of it happens every day.
I mean, look, didn't we see the whole Hanabisu thing? CPA, the military being chased. There are so many stories.
It happens every day.
All the time of people who are supposedly in charge trying to go and sort out this Galamsey problem and being chased out. These guys, they are rather shooting to kill. And the Galamseyers are rather shooting to kill. And they are heavily armed. These guys are heavily armed. I remember they were talking a while back about, you know, the security forces not having the right equipment at night. Because when the fight got quite intense, they started mining at night. And they had all the lights and all the equipment and everything. And our security forces rather didn't have some of this equipment to actually chase them at night. You know, so, I mean, we cannot allow a situation where there's a perception that any illegal group is actually above our security forces. That is, I mean, that's very dangerous. That's a disaster waiting to happen. And talking about cocoa production, it's already being affected. It's already being affected. Farmers are being paid money to sit at home by the Galamseyers so they can take over their farms and just give them some pittance every month. You know, so, and cocoa is not just about this farmer or that farmer, it's about the whole country. It is a key resource for us as a nation.
Right.
You know, so it's affecting everything. Everything.
Well, let's move to Parliament, hopefully vetting the acting Chief Justice. They've advertised 11 a.m. today. If that happens, of course, Justice Bafo-Boni will be in the seat and then will be vetted. You must have heard some of the concerns. First of all, I mean, you have just said that he's your brother. I want to know whether, because some things my brother does, I'm not happy about. Some things he gets, I'm not happy about, because I think he probably should not. Are you excited about his nomination?
I'm very, very excited. What he does with the family is different from what he would do at the courts. So, I mean, every family, we have our own issues. So the family thing does not come to play. I'm looking at his profession, what he has been able to, you know, contribute all the way to where he is now. And hopefully, by the end of the day, whether the minority would I understand where they are coming from. And the question I'm saying that I think, if anything, what they are saying is there are cases pending on behalf of Justice
Tokono.
Yes, that they need to finish hearing them. But we know in Ghana, in courts, the cases doesn't finish overnight. Yes, to me, let's look whether he's qualified, whether he's capable, and then take it from there and make sure that we hold him accountable for him to do the right thing, instead of maybe later on finding any issues with him as well. Because we tend to always talk about our Supreme Court, and it is not proper. They should be the last body of, you know, the legal thing that we should not bastardize that institution. But to me, I'm excited. He's my older brother, somebody who was born. Do you know where Goso is? He was born in Goso.
Okay.
So for somebody to come all the way from Goso to become the Supreme Court.
It's worth celebrating.
Yes,
but let's look at the fact that it is the Supreme Court, and usually what they do becomes law. What they say becomes law for us in this country. And we say that when you're going through a legal process in this country, it's time consuming, it's quite cumbersome. But we've also seen that some cases are usually expedited, they are prioritized. And because this is quite a peculiar one, you do not think that maybe the courts would want to expedite it. They want to really make the hearing a lot more faster. We get finality to it so that the Supreme Court in its own rules are not questioned.
Ask the lawyer.
Well, look, I can understand both sides of the argument, but as far as I'm concerned, I would go on the side of the president has nominated, Parliament must vet. You know, it's a constitutional duty. Mm-hmm. So for me, it shouldn't be political, you know, because the Constitution actually does not stop governance because of a pending court case. That is my personal view. Parliament is right. So for me, Parliament should go ahead with the vetting of Justice Bafo-Boni, because the Constitution doesn't pause just because a case is pending in court. Governance has to continue, you see. So that is how I see it.
But he's acting.
Yes, he's acting, but he's not substantive.
How the judiciary has paused. We've not heard in any way that we have had a challenge. He's acting
but
fine.
For how long should he continue acting? I mean, acting is very different from being in a substantive role. So it's one of the key institutions of government. And so I think it's important that whatever vacuum there is should be filled as soon as possible. And that's how, you know, Parliament is right to act within its mandate. That's how institutions stay strong, you know, by moving forward, not standing still. So as far as I'm concerned, it should go ahead.
What happened to her rights, which is also justified in the same constitution that provides the president the constitutional right that if he nominates, Parliament per the constitution should as well vet? So, it's the same constitution.
So it's a case that's pending. So it has to run its course. And then whatever the outcome with, we will deal with it. You know, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I don't even know when this thing is going to be heard. That's the problem with our system.
It can go her way or not. If it goes her way, then what?
But look at some of these parliamentary, you know, when people go to parliament, when we have parliamentary votes and then someone says, oh, they cheated me out of it, etc., and then they take the case to court. By the time the decision comes, it's all moot because the 4 years have passed. I'm not suggesting that that is what's going to happen in this case. So all I'm saying is that one of the key things that Justice Bafo-Boni, when nominated, should deal with is actually looking at some serious reforms, and this is one of the things that he has to look at. And we have issues with the judiciary. We respect them and all the rest of it, but we're also not blind.
Yeah.
You know, and we've heard reportage of all sorts of things, you know, corruption, all sorts of things in our judiciary. So he has a big job on his hands. You know, so for me, we shouldn't pause, we should go ahead.
I'd like to hear you, Mr. Capito. You have just been telling me that from Gosu to where he is now is really worth celebrating and really worth the journey. I mean, you may not have prepared to tell us a little bit about him, but from where you sit, what can you say about him this morning? Today, if the vetting happens, of course, we'll get to hear more about him, but I'd love to hear from you. You
know, I would say that you know, the Bafo-Boni is a big family.
Okay.
Because their fathers had a lot of children. Dr. Bafo-Boni, Kumasi, a few. They are even the one who was under the last NDC administration, the NCA board chair, Eugene, is also a Bafo-Boni. You know, so. They are a very large family, loving people. It's interesting that, like I said, coming from Gosu, that most of them had good education, and they managed to uphold themselves in good standing. He's my older brother. What I know about him is he's a good older brother. Anytime I have any legal issue, is the one I'll call and say, Jack, what do you think? And he tells me what is the legal aspect of it. The one thing that I did not agree with him was one day I called him to ask him that this police invitation, is it compulsory that when you are invited, that I should go? And his reason was, oh, even in our traditional homes, when the chief summons you, I say, no, leave the traditional. Because Ghana, we made it as if when the police invites you, it's a command.
I'm curious, what did he say about that?
Oh, that's why he was trying to justify that, oh, it's something that is more like...
It is a very subtle command, is it not?
Yes, something like that. But in other jurisdictions, you need to bring me a warrant or tell me that I'm under arrest. Yes. You know, so very fine person. Even the former, not the lady, Any Ebuatu was my senior in school. So I've had opportunity to have a few friends or family members in there.
Is she also from Goso?
No. He is from Twasi.
Okay.
Twasi in Ashanti region.
Okay.
So I mean, he will do a good job. Let me put it that way.
You're very certain.
Because he is very experienced. He's come through the ropes. Okay, even when any boy's issue, he was even being considered. When Tokonu's stem came, he was still being considered. So if this is the time that he's been
Would you say that it's even delayed for him in his career? Would you say that he should have been Chief Justice long ago?
Well, the only problem I will have is I think he might not be a Chief Justice for a long time because of his age.
Yeah.
You know, because of his age. If not, like the reforms that Vicky is talking about, if he had time, probably he could have done a lot of reforms because me and him, we have a lot of legal discussions because I want to see the best practice. I even had an issue, and Vicky, correct me if I'm wrong, where I had a case in court. My lawyer was there. I was on my way to the courtroom. My lawyer called me while I said, I'm around the corner. Then I think I was late for the court. Then the judge issued a bench warrant.
Oh.
Yeah.
What an abuse.
She. And these people were all over.
But is it?
Kofi Capito is...
No, but Vicky, is it? He was late, whether he was in the corner or not.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that my lawyer is in court. Okay.
But has it been consistent? Are you always just...
No, it's not always late. No, I'm not showing up. No. But let me ask a question. Let me ask a question. You people sometimes... But sometimes I come to court and you also don't show up.
Yeah,
the lawyers?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying I come to court and the judge doesn't even show up.
And they don't say anything.
They don't say anything. You get there and they say, today there's no sitting.
And that is, I have never seen anything like that.
Is that the work of the clerk?
That's when
to arrange timetables well and then to know.
You know? So I'm just saying that if the judge can decide that they will show up in court, if I'm a little late, I should be considered.
You have practiced law for years. Have you had an experience with him?
No, I haven't, actually. I do more transactional stuff. I do more like for international projects and that kind. I haven't, but he is a fine gentleman.
Right.
And you know, I think he's a good selection by the president.
When he was appointed as acting Chief Justice, there were theories around that, okay, he was supposed to have been Chief Justice a long time. I mean, it's been a long time coming. It's even delayed and all of the due. You also agree to this?
I think God's time is the best.
Is it?
The most important thing is that he will go down in history.
He'll go down.
And, you know, he has a limited time and really he can make an impact in that limited time. Whatever he starts and doesn't finish, I'm sure will be...
If the minority today, later, do not show up at the appointment committee to be part of the vetting process, what would it mean to the entire process?
It's not the first time we've had situations where one side hasn't shown up, and you know, the business of Parliament has continued, hasn't it? So it's not the first time it's happened in our history. I hope they show up, because a Chief Justice is a Chief Justice for all, not just for a political party. It is for us Ghanaians. You know, that appointment is one that is very, very critical, because it's one of the three key arms of government. So it's something that everyone has to participate in. So I think they owe it to their constituents to show up. But if they decide not to show up, well,
it will be sad
democracy.
because you're just describing him as a fine gentleman, and that we all would love that. Everything that is needed on the chain would be present so that it will be a full-fledged vetting. And so whilst it won't be the first time that has happened in history, I mean, they have been, usually you would not anticipate that the minority on one side will stage a walkout or they will not show up.
No.
Usually it happens when it's happening.
And
But this one, they have at least issued the warning, don't proceed. You're expecting that some negotiations should have happened in the back so that today we make progress, especially for a Chief Justice who is not going to stay for long.
Yes, I hope so. I hope so, because, as I said, for me, it will be good that all members of the House show up, or both sides of the House show up in their numbers. Because it is an important appointment and it affects all of us as Ghanaians. Whether you show up or you don't show up, in the end, we are all affected by the appointment. So I really hope that they show up and do their, perform their constitutional mandate as parliamentarians.
Okay.
It's funny, even there's lockdown in America. Finally, they've come to an agreement. Yes, that they're going to open for a while. I think until January, because the people are the ones who are suffering.
Yeah.
They are the ones who are not getting paid. And you don't want to be seen as you are the one who caused me not to be paid, because next year there's a midterm election. They will use it against you. Unfortunately, we don't do that in Ghana. But for all the Liverpool fans in Ghana, he is a staunch Liverpool fan.
You never walk alone. I hope you don't walk alone this morning.
The acting Chief Justice never walks alone.
I see. Well.